Come on, man. That's too easy. Liverpool. Liverpool get another. I had to do it, brother. Liverpool get another victory against West Ham. And say what you want about the strength of schedule. I'm seeing a lot of stuff come out about Arsenal and this whole strength of schedule thing and that we had a tougher run of fixtures. I get that. Say what you want about that. And I think that's completely false, by the way, because when you play Arsenal themselves and then Brighton back-to-back in a week, and then the following week you play Leverkusen, Manchester City, and Madrid in a span of 10 to 12 days, I don't think that's a lacking schedule at all. By the way, we did not lose in that stretch at all. But anyway, I think it's just an excuse. And for me personally, I think even if it was easy, it should spell trouble for Arsenal. Because you're able to build up a winning consistency. You're able to build up a habit of winning in that time frame, which we have, right? Which we have since the beginning of the season. Only loss was to Nottingham Forest the entire season, which is starting to age beautifully, by the way. Shout out to Nottingham Forest for being in second place. But it spells doom for the rest of the league when you see a team like Liverpool who were getting results early in the season and now they continue to get results in the halfway point and now even more impressive than they were in the halfway or before the halfway point. You should be worried. And if you look back at Arne Slot's kind of MO in his management, you should be even more worried. He's a second half manager, second half of the game, second half of the season. He only gets better as things wear on, where he can start breaking teams down. He can start understanding how teams play mid-game and throughout the season. And you better believe in that second half of the season, it's only going to get better. It's only going to improve because this will be the second shot at it. And so many managers, like I mentioned in the last video, are stuck in their way. They only know how to play one way. They only know how to coach one way. And that's not good going up against a manager like Arne Slot, who is insanely adaptable, who will break down and figure out your style of play and take you apart. And managers can try to change up the way that they go about things in the second go at Liverpool in the second half. But I'm not sure how successful they're going to be because you're trying to figure out a new way to play when you're so set in a certain way of playing against a manager who's really great at adapting and changing and taking the way that you play apart. So if you're already not that good at this new way that you're going to try to approach Liverpool at, it's not going to be good for these teams in the second half, in my personal opinion. But we will see. But you counting on this Liverpool side dropping points is pretty foolish. And if you haven't learned yet, the consistency, consistently getting points, point after point after point after point, 3 point, 3 point, 3 points, is always a good thing for a team. Look at Manchester City when they did it. That's why you were always like, Manchester City start going on a run, just write it off. Because it's the habit of winning is the thing that's happening with this Liverpool side, which we saw happen with the Manchester City side. So be afraid if you're a rival for Liverpool. But let's talk about Mo Salah. Ballon d'Or. I think he's gone and won the Ballon d'Or, right? I mean, we'll talk about the goals in a second. But before we jump into the match, make sure you guys subscribe. People are watching from all over the place. If you're new here, make sure you put where you are watching from. That's our thing. That's what we do. We have people from Venezuela. We have people from Nambia. We have people from St. Lucia. All around the world, guys. Put where you're watching from. I love to hear it. I love to see it. And don't forget to put your thoughts on the game. Who was your man of the match? I think I know who it is. It might be a certain Egyptian king who your man of the match was. He's mine for sure. And put down what you see. Can Liverpool go all the way? How many trophies are we walking away in this whole thing? I want to know what you guys think. But I said this after the first half that this could get ugly, and that it did. Outstanding stuff from Mo Salah today. They complained about him not being very fun to watch, so he pulled out the bag of tricks again today after pulling out the bag of tricks last time. And that touch and that finish was absolutely, well, the touch and the assist was absolutely showtime. And then the finish, of course, is showtime again, right? But Maka, we can't go through this whole game without mentioning Maka. The past two games, he's just been dominant. The break that he's had to just rejuvenate and get better and to rest has been phenomenal for him. And I think the same thing is going to be beneficial for Ryan Gravenberch, who came off pretty early today, who's played back-to-back games. And Endo is looking fantastic in there as well. But again, Jones being in there, being dangerous, being our Frank Lampard. I think he was unlucky to not get a goal today, but played a decent game as well. I typically have a lot of criticism towards Jones, especially when Szoboszlai is not in there, because he has a little bit of a different game where, Szoboszlai is a lot more noticeable when you're in there, where Jones is more of like a ghost, right? That can be to his benefit and also to be to his detriment. But the front line of Gakpo, Díaz, and Salah looks like that should be the front line. Like it should be more permanent than it is, right? I mean, the fluidity of the front three was just absolutely fantastic today. Mainly the swapping of Díaz and Gakpo on that left wing. It just confuses wingers, man. And then putting Jones up there as that second man for Mo Salah to play 1-2s off of. And you can see sometimes, I noticed this in the second half, Arne Slot sometimes will throw everybody onto the wing and they'll just work through the wing. It's very interesting to see. I've seen Gravenberch, Jones, or Maka and Jones with Mo and Trent all working, the four of them all working that right-hand side. And then they'll leave one midfielder back there to protect the back three, or the back two, I guess. So it's very interesting how Arne Slot breaks down low block teams or teams who put a lot of players behind the ball. By any means, did West Ham play a low block? Absolutely not. They actually looked as good as you can look for a 5-0 defeat. Somebody go get Mo Kudus, Jared Bowen, Luis Guilherme, and Crescencio Somerville out of that West Ham team. Those four are going to be beast, bruh. They're just in a really bad team right now with a manager that just doesn't fit. I love all four of those players. If you don't know any of those names, Somerville looked good today, even though he was to a degree pocketed a little bit by Trent. I think he gave a little bit more on that left hand side than Paqueta did. Playing Paqueta deep, I think makes more sense. Honestly, I think he's more of a 8, I guess, than a left-sided 10. But if they can get those four on the ball a lot more, Bowen, Kudus, Luis Guilherme needs more time in, Crescencio needs more time. Those four should be starting every time. But besides the point, it's going to be tough for West Ham. I think that their manager's time is coming to an end pretty soon. I'm predicting maybe he gets out of there. But Gomez going down isn't ideal. But if it's long term, I think Liverpool need to go shopping. They need to get a center back and a left or maybe a left back center back combo. I like Gerald Hato a whole ton. There's a Leverkusen left-sided center back as well. Hincapie, that's his name, that I really like a whole ton. His name was fleeting me there a little bit. But the second half, Liverpool ran riot. Is there a better team in the Premier League right now? I don't think so. I don't think there's a better team in the world right now, maybe even. And I mean, the tactical understanding of this entire team from the front all the way to the back, in the defense, in the midfield, and the front line is unbelievable. And the way that these boys have bedded into this Arne Slot system from the very start up until now, it needs to be studied, because they were good before, but now they're getting even better as things are wearing on. Now they're free flowing. Now it's free scoring. Now we're putting up record numbers for some of these players. I mean, Luis Díaz is already beating some of his best ever season at Liverpool, and he's halfway through the season. We're not talking about that enough. Same thing with Cody Gakpo. He's starting to put up the numbers that we bought him at, the Mbappe level numbers with the 40 goals and assists, which he could potentially get to as well, getting close to Mo Salah's potentially 60 goals and assists, maybe 80 goals and assists when it comes to Mo Salah if he stays at this rate. And it's like, this team is only getting better. Like, what the fuck? What is going on right now? The team is only getting better, and all of a sudden, it looks like Liverpool only need 1 or 2 signings in January, and it's really just in defense. The Endo cameo gave me a whole ton of confidence in him being a deputy for Ryan Gravenberch. He looked great today. And can I share a secret with you? He's looked great all season. He's never looked bad whenever given the opportunity to play. And I think Arne Slot is starting to put more and more trust into him. And I think he has a place in this team. I hope he does not get sold. Gerald Kwanzaa looks like he's taking time to improve his game, which I love seeing him getting some time in and look confident on the ball. Maka was unstoppable. Gravy got some rest. The front three did damage. Mo Salah is ridiculous. Probably the greatest winger that we've ever seen in Premier League history. If you don't agree with that, you're a damn hater. 37 goals and assists. What the actual hell is going on with Mo Salah? He could end the year on 80 goals and assists this season. What is going on with this man? Yes, what now? What now? What now with this GOAT right here? Can I get my thumb and shot? What now with this GOAT right here? You give him a damn contract. The contracts need to be done January 1st. You look at Mo, Trent, and VVD. There aren't any players. I'm not going to even say many. I'm going to say there's any players in the world that are better than them in their positions right now. Name me a better right back. I will wait for that. As much crap as we talk about Trent, as much of the things that we don't love about his game, there aren't right backs in the world that can do what he does. It's just not. It just doesn't exist. Name me a better player than Mo Salah. Name me a better center back than VVD. You can't do it. Replacing all three would be equivalent of $1 billion job or a Moneyball masterstroke, which we know is probably not going to happen. Either of those things aren't going to happen. But Trent sent a message today. I think that message means it's all talk. And I think he wants to stay. He wants to be compensated for being the best right back in Premier League history, which I think he is. And I get it. I totally get it. Because you don't go from saying this means more. You don't go and talking about, winning quadruples and triples and stuff like that and looking up to Steven Gerrard and wanting to captain the Liverpool side eventually. You don't say that stuff and then flip unless something happened behind the scenes, which we aren't privy to. But I think Mo and Verge maybe are formalities. I don't know. Mo keeps talking about it's far off. We haven't talked about a contract at all. But I'm really not sure what's taking them so long on some of these contracts and why they aren't being done. Forget the pay structure. Forget it. You have 3 generational talents that you will never see players better than them ever again. Very unique in the way that they play. You do not let them walk, period. FSG, this is not American sports where you let some of your best players go to a different team and you rebuild. That's not how this works in football. Get the contracts done. 1 defeat all season, and the defeat is aged fantastically. We could be more than 10 points clear by the time that we get our game in hand. And if you're a Liverpool fan, you don't believe right now, now is probably the right time to believe. You guys let me know what you guys think. What do you think about the contracts? What do you think about this game? Where did Liverpool go from here? How many trophies do we win this season? I'm saying at a minimum 2. I think Premier League is ours to lose. I think Carabao Cup is there. I think Champions League is there, guys. Let me know what you guys think. For everybody who decided to subscribe in the last video, thank you guys. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed and you've watched some of my videos more than once, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here. We'd love to hear some of your opinions, some of the best comments, some of the best footballing opinions I've read in these comments. Keep them coming. I love reading them. I love interacting with you guys. Appreciate you all. Have an amazing new year, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Up the Reds, top of the league in 2024, baby, and I think we're going to stay top in 2025. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Boom.